2 minutes after takeoff, the pilots of Lion Air Flight 610 are fighting a machine that wants them dead. The plane pitches down. They pull back. Pitches down again. 26 times, the nose drops. 26 times, they haul it back up. They lose. 12 minutes after wheels up, 189 people hit the Java Sea at almost 500 miles an hour. There is nothing left to bury. 5 months later, it happens again. Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302. Same plane, same nightmare, same nosedive, fighting the same invisible hand. 6 minutes into the flight, 157 more people are gone. 2 brand new Boeing 737 MAX jets. 2 full loads of passengers. 346 people dead. And the horrifying part isn't the crash. It's that Boeing knew. They knew before Lion Air went down. They said nothing. And that silence is about to cost them $20 billion, their reputation, and the trust of every person who's ever stepped on a plane. Rewind. Boeing isn't some fly-by-night startup. This is the company that put boots on the moon, built the planes that won wars. For most of the 20th century, Boeing engineers ran this company. Pilots ran this company. Safety wasn't a slogan, it was the whole business model. Then in 1997, Boeing merges with McDonnell Douglas. And something shifts. The people who used to build planes get replaced by the people who used to count money. Cost-cutting becomes the culture. Shareholder value becomes the religion. By 2010, Boeing has a problem. Airbus just dropped the A320neo, a fuel-efficient jet that airlines are lining up to buy. Boeing needs an answer, and they need it fast. The smart move, the safe move, is to design a brand new aircraft from scratch. That takes a decade and billions of dollars they don't want to spend. So Boeing does something else. They take the 737, a design from the 1960s, and they bolt bigger, more efficient engines onto it. Just strap them on and call it a day. Except the engines are too big for the old airframe. To fit under the wings, they have to be mounted higher and further forward. And that changes everything about how the plane flies. With those new engines in that position, the jet has a nasty habit. Under certain conditions, the nose wants to pitch up too far, risking a stall. This is a fundamental aerodynamic flaw baked into the frame. Boeing's answer isn't to fix the frame. Their answer is software. They design a system called MCAS, Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. Its entire job is to quietly push the nose down when it senses the plane climbing too steep, so pilots feel like they're flying the same old familiar 737 they've flown for decades. Here's the sales pitch behind it. Airlines don't need to retrain their pilots. No expensive simulator time, no certification headaches. Just tell everyone it flies exactly like the last one. Sell that speed and savings to every airline on Earth. But MCAS has a fatal weakness. It relies on a single sensor. One angle of attack sensor feeding it data. No backup, no cross-check with the second sensor sitting right next to it. No redundancy at all in a system with the power to point a passenger jet at the ground. If that one sensor glitches, feeds bad data, MCAS believes it completely. And it acts. Automatically. Aggressively. Repeatedly. And here's where the cover-up starts. Boeing's own test pilots find problems with MCAS in simulators. Internal messages later uncovered show employees calling the plane's flight control system trash, joking that they wouldn't put their own families on a MAX trained by Boeing. One engineer writes that the software is basically running the show and the humans just don't know it. Boeing doesn't slow down. Boeing doesn't tell airlines. Boeing doesn't even tell the pilots MCAS exists. It's not in the manuals. It's not in the training. Line pilots flying this aircraft have never even heard the word MCAS. Why bury it? Because admitting MCAS exists means admitting the plane needs new training. And new training means the deal Boeing promised airlines like Southwest falls apart. Boeing had literally promised a rebate, up to $1 million per plane, if the MAX ever required simulator training. So a $400 million decision about human lives comes down to protecting a rebate clause. The FAA, meanwhile, is stretched thin and underfunded, and lets Boeing self-certify huge chunks of its own safety analysis. The Fox is filing the paperwork on the henhouse. October 2018. Lion Air Flight 610. The angle of attack sensor is faulty, fresh off a repair the night before. It feeds MCAS garbage data. MCAS believes the plane is about to stall. It's not. But MCAS doesn't know that. It shoves the nose down. The pilots pull up. MCAS shoves it down again. This isn't a one-time nudge, it repeats every 5 seconds, over and over. A machine that will not stop arguing with the men trying to save the plane. They don't know what's fighting them because nobody told them this system exists. 12 minutes later, 189 people are dead. Boeing's response should have grounded every MAX on the planet immediately. Instead, they quietly issue a bulletin. They hint at pilot error. They suggest the crew should have simply followed existing procedures, as if the problem is human, not mechanical. Behind closed doors, they know exactly what happened. They know MCAS did this. They let the planes keep flying. 5 months. That's how long Boeing gets away with it. Then March 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 takes off from Addis Ababa. Same sensor failure. Same runaway software. The pilots do everything by the book, everything Boeing told them to do after Lion Air. It's not enough. 6 minutes after takeoff, the plane is in the ground. Now the world reacts. Country after country grounds the MAX. China moves first. Then Europe. The United States, humiliatingly, is one of the last major nations to act. Only grounding the fleet after mounting political pressure makes inaction impossible. Boeing's stock craters, wiping out tens of billions in market value within days. Every MAX on Earth grounded for 20 months. Then the documents start leaking out. Internal emails, Slack-style messages between Boeing employees, mocking regulators, mocking the plane, joking that they designed by clowns who are supervised by monkeys. Whistleblowers step forward. Investigators find that Boeing knew about the single point of failure sensor issue and chose not to disclose it. Congress hauls Boeing's CEO, Dennis Muhlenberg, in front of cameras. Families of the victims sit behind him in the hearing room, holding photographs of the dead. He is fired by the end of the year, walking away with tens of millions of dollars in compensation. No prison time. Not for him. Boeing eventually agrees to pay over $2.5 billion to settle a federal fraud charge, including a fine, compensation to airlines, and a fund for the victims' families. It looks like justice on paper, but critics call it a slap on the wrist for a company that made 346 deaths a line item. In 2021, a single junior test pilot becomes the only individual charged criminally, and he's acquitted. Not one Boeing executive goes to prison. The total cost to Boeing eventually blows past $20 billion in direct losses, and tens of billions more in lost orders, canceled contracts, and reputational damage that still isn't fully healed. Then, in January 2024, years after everyone thought the story was over, a door plug blows out of a brand new MAX mid-flight, ripping a hole in the fuselage at altitude. Nobody dies by pure luck, but it proves the culture never actually changed. Same corner cutting, same rushed manufacturing, same pattern. The real horror of the Boeing MAX story isn't a hacker or a market crash or bad luck. It's a company that looked at the choice between an expensive fix and a cheap cover-up, and chose the cover-up twice even after the first plane went down. 346 people boarded aircraft they were told were safe, built by a company that already knew otherwise. That's not an accident. That's a decision. And decisions like that don't just crash airplanes. They crash trust that took 100 years to build, and they still haven't figured out how to rebuild it.